Here, the first semi-final, East Burwood taking on Forest Hill. Get down out here to Walker Parker. Enjoy the broadcast all afternoon. We're going around the globe on EFL.org.au. Here's Gav Casey to take us away.
Walker Park, Mitcham, elimination final between Division 4's third and fourth best side. East Burwood were potentially going to be in the second semi, but missed after losing to White Horse Pioneers. Rucks go at it again as the first contest wasn't cleared. East Burwood get the first clearance out of the centre, go into the forward line, bouncing ball, leading up beautifully. There was Stafford, his hand pass was going backwards now through Kay. Kay gets it off to Kennedy. Kennedy loads up a long ball, one-on-one concert in the goal square. East Burwood got a rover, but the tackle flies in, and Forest Hill do nicely to hold it up on their last line. First inside 50 for East Burwood. Kennedy got his hands on it. Big long ball. Stafford's in the ruck. He punches it forward, close to the line. It goes in tight, goes out of bounds in the pocket, right in front of the scoreboard. 1 minute in. We're yet to get a score, but East Burwood doing the attacking.
So the umpire to ball it back in, right underneath that Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's deep in the East Burwood forward line. Little flick over the back that time by Stafford. There's a lot of players around this ball. Stafford went after it again, got brought to ground. On top of it there was Dale. Umpire said, give it back to me, boys. Let's restart this one.
Now it's got to be really careful on Perry. Don't allow him out the back. What they've done so far, they've allowed him out the back too many times already early.
Throws it up. Little knock over the top there by Kay. Came into the arms of Power for Forest Hill. He got dispossessed. It's going to get rushed through for a behind here, the first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's going the way of East Burwood. They lead by that one solitary behind. And we've gone almost 2 minutes here in the second term. Bringing the ball back in is Aaron Creek.
Creek, low flyer, beautiful pass out wide, and Forest Hill off and running, but they ran into a roadblock, so at half back, they're going to have to go backwards, searching back to Creek. Creek 40 metres back from his defensive goal, just puts a quick kick out and kicks it out the full on the outer side, so it's a turnover ball, and Brown will load up for another inside 50 for East Burwood. Pass goes in, Stafford gets underneath it, he can't bring it down, second grab, Creek's there to rove it, hand passes backwards to Dale, under a heap of pressure, he walks out of bounds, and he's happy for the relief of a 50-50 contest.
Got a funny feeling that Cardamone and Ousley have swapped numbers.
Yeah, it looks like Cardamone's wearing 3 and Ousley's wearing 5.
Well, that's fantastic of them to do that to us, but we will plough on as East Burwood from the stoppage get a high ball to about 20 metres out. The defence come in over the top. There's a big lot of numbers for the Zebras. They're pushing it around. Finally gets to Cardamone in defence. Usually he's up the other end, but he's trying to save the day. Now it's a ball in hostile territory with Pagliaro being taken down in a mass tackle.
And it was a rugby scrum, that was.
And now they're saying, well, how do you like that? They all come in over the top, and there's a bit of a to-do 40 metres out from goal, but the umpire's quick to say, get out of my way, I want to ball it up, but he's taking so long time to clear the area. So it's a ball up 40 out from the Rams goal. At ground level, going to ground is Johnstone. He's been taken in a tackle by Kay, and Kay wraps it up in 45 metres out from goal for East Burwood.
If only Australia had played like this last night in the Bledisloe Cup, we might have been all right.
Absolutely spot on. Umpire throws it up now. Big fly over the back there by Middleton. Knocked the ball to ground level. It's still across that forward arc, which is only a 45-metre arc out here at Walker Park. Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Yeah, just confirming those swap jumpers between Owsley and the Cardamone boys. Apparently it's been that way all year, but the footy record a little slow to catch up, apparently.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Thank you very much there, Brett Beston. Will come in. A lot of stoppages early, gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. Look, they're both feeling each other out at the moment, and Forest Hill are putting players back behind the contest to just block it up for the moment.
So Stoneham went up, got a knock on over the top. High's blown his whistle, be a free kick to Michael Cardamone. So Michael Cardamone, who's kicked 52 goals, returning to Forest Hill this year after a stint at Coldstream. The kick goes up forward, goes over the top of Strawn's head. First play to meet it though for East Burwood was Brown. Paddled it to his advantage, then played it out in front. He'll get the handball back here. Just got it out in the nick of time. Stoneham dived over the top of it, as did Ian Taylor. And we will have a ball up. No, we won't. He's giving it against Taylor. So it'll be a free kick going the way of Luke Brown for East Burwood. Just scrambly kick out wide. It was a shocker, but Kennedy had time, but then he fell over. Had time to pick himself up, kick up towards the half-forward line over the top there of Stafford's Head. Bouncing football. The Zebras do have the numbers here. Leading in the race to Evans Maguire. He's going after it. Little handball out the side. It's eventually knocked out towards the direction there of Powell. Snap around the body up towards the half-back line. It's an up and under kick. We'll be able to strong jukes this one. Oh, that was a fantastic mark taken there by Tim Johnston. So Johnston spears a pass along the wing position. That was centimetre perfect. Fantastic stuff. And the mark's being taken by Luke Strawn. On the wing position now, squeezes a kick inside. Spots up his teammate there in Ton Denham. Short passes on, doing it in bits and pieces. Here's Daniel Owsley. Few ponytails in the Forest Hill makeup. Pincott, one of my favourite players, takes the mark. 2 kicks from home, Forest Hill. They're still just trying to poke it forward and just find that option, which is not the worst thing to do in the world. Luke Strawn takes it. He's about 55, 60 out, goes in towards the Pim direction, and Pimmy comes out and takes it lace out on the chest. He'll kick from about 45 metres, 45-degree angle.
That's just the start that a guy like Steve Pim would be looking for. Likes to get on the board early. He's the guy that really feels the momentum of the game. If he can get into it early, he might be in for a big day. Nice strong lead at the ball, Davo.
Yeah, Stuart Wine would be very disappointed with their back half then. They had 3 extras, pushed them back, just didn't cover enough territory to block that off.
So Steve Pim has kicked 41 goals for the year. Plenty more at this ground. He leans over it and kicks it straight over the goal up by his head. You can hear the Zebra fans get around that one and the players come to salute him. Forest Hill have the first major on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard and they lead this game at the 6.5-minute mark of the first term of the first semi-final by 5 points. 1 straight 6 to 1 behind.
I reckon there's the ball's been in East Burwood's forward line for 3.5 minutes for no score. It's gone in there twice and I thought they worked the ball into that forward half extremely well. They were patient, didn't bomb it, waited for them to turn up and
their
lead.
targets.
Did very well.
Back in the middle, the bigger ruckman of East Burwood was beaten to the tap, but East Burwood will win the clearance, will go long towards Stafford, who finds himself underneath it with 3 coming over his back. He taps it down, hoping for a rover, but Maguire got in the way for Forest Hill. Pincott dropped it, but he dropped it into the hands of Owsley. Owsley gets a quick off running to Johnston. He'll run towards 50, load up from left half forward, and puts it to the posts. And a bit of a shank goes out right, and Pincott nearly got onto a mark, but Pim, should I say, and it's in the pocket.
It was set up for one of the plays of the week, that one.
And kick that goal and it would really have got them up and going, wouldn't it?
So it's a ball in around the point post. First to the ruck there was Middleton at ground level. East Burwood have got the numbers close to the line. Perry's there in and about, but the tackles come in as Forest Hill managed to take the ball close to the line, and it'll be handed back to the umpire by Newman. So it's a ball in 40 metres around from the goals of Forest Hill. They've got the only goal on the board with Pim.
It's been a jumper change in Forest Hill. There's a number 26 running around. Brett Beston will keep us up to date with that one.
Rucks go at it. Middleton was at front position, but Forest Hill do nicely to get themselves in position to take first hands, and handing it back to the umpires Mowat. Ball up 40 metres from goals for Forest Hill. Coming over the top with a running leap was Rixton. Again at ground level, it's Perry, but he paddles it in front of himself back out of bounds where it was only a moment ago. So it'll be a ball in, 40 metres out. Let's go boundary side for that number change.
26 is Nathan Palmer, boys, and not jersey 40 as he was named in the team sheet.
Thank you to Brett Beston, boundary rider for today's game. So we've got another ball in, 40 metres out. Tap won by East Burwood, but again Forest Hill doing well around the contest, and again it's Mowat getting first hands of it, and he hands it back to the umpire and pushes his opponent to the ground, and Davis and says, "Get off me." As Forest Hill look to get another score on the board, but again around the contest East Burwood do well. The quick kick out of defence goes to Stafford, close to the line. He's been corralled, chopped off nicely by Powell, so he keeps the momentum now going towards Forest Hill, and the tackles fly in. It'll be a ball up, half forward flank for Forest Hill. Good contest, not an open game yet.
No, Stafford's very valuable up there, but they've got to get people around his feet. He's trying to do it all.
So Middleton went up against Stoneham. Bit of a fresh air shot by both ruckmen there. Getting in to chop it off there was Burmeister. Paddled it out towards a Palmer direction. Umpire said it was play on. Almost looked like a push in the back. Barging his way through and trapping. It was Timmy Johnston. Inside forward 50. He goes. Bouncing football. It's done a nice little wrong end to go out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Right half forward line for Forest Hill. Leading this game by 5 points.
Structurally, they look a little bit all over the place, East Burwood. I think they haven't yet settled, whereas I think East Burwood have.
Of course, Heathmont taking on the Basin today in the elimination final in Division 3. We'll keep you up to date with those scores as they come through right throughout the afternoon. Who will take on this? Umpire throws it up now, Middleton. Comes in, a little fresh air shot, almost. I'll tell you what, it was almost a kick in the face that time there.
Such a big kick. I nearly felt it.
Oh, Ian Taylor, he's happy he's still got all his front teeth. Pye throws it back up now. Big fly there by Middleton, got the knockdown, but to no avail. And we'll have another stoppage.
Forest Hill just starting to gain some ascendancy around stoppages, so able to get that release away where East Burwood unable to do that at the moment.
Handball over the top. The Rams just trying to work themselves out here. Kennedy spun on a throop. He didn't get boot to ball. He almost could have been pinged. He did. It was a late call. So Lucas Gibbons, the recipient, gets the handball away. It was an iffy one, though. The kick goes inside forward 50 that time, right towards the forward pocket. Michael Cardamone there. Just gets a little bit of a shove.
Falls to the ground so easily, it's funny.
He just loses that weight so so comfortably, doesn't he? So it's only about 25 metres out from the Forest Hill goal line. Middleton had the shot, and then a Cardamone doing what Brett Davidson spoke about in pre-match, and he's just so good at getting first play, being that first play to the contest, and throwing his head back. We're not saying it's illegal, but he certainly puts himself in the contest.
Drawing the high tackle, they call it.
Perfectly said, Peter Baird. It's great to have you back in the box. Michael Cardamone. He's kicked 52 goals for Forest Hill this year. So Steve Pym, who's already kicked one, this is the other spearhead, and he makes no mistake. He keeps it low and he keeps it straight. Forest Hill get their second on the ball. They're kicking straight. 2 straight 12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, leading by 11 points over East Burwood, who had the run for the first 5 minutes, but only managed that one behind.
And look, what's happening is that at the contest, East Burwood have got too many players within the 1 metre area, and Forest Hill are pushing 2 outside the 3 metre area. They get their hands, flick it straight out, and that's why they were able to get it into their forward line quicker. So East Burwood just got to work their structure out around the ball a bit better.
Middleton wins the ruck for East Burwood, but it's his Kennedy being besieged as he takes the contest. There'll be another ball up in the centre of Walker Park. Rucks go at it again. Running jump by the Forest Hill combatant in Gross. Gets the tap. Umpire sees a throw. It'll go the way of Forest Hill as a free kick. So Perry gives away the free kick in the centre of Walker Park. The quick kick by East Burwood just slows play up. And it comes back to Gross, who was laid in.
Big unit.
He loads up a long ball. It's a 2-on-2 pack. East Burwood get the punch in. It's bobbling around volleyball style, and East Burwood do clear to the middle of the ground where Stafford's out position, but he gets his hands to it, brings it to the ground where Pincott does the roving for Forest Hill. He's got a wobbly ball onto the wing. It suits East Burwood, and big ball by Perry loads it inside 50. On the bounce, it gets to his spearhead in Wills. So again, it's a ground ball to a hot ball with Jemmy trying to get the hands on it and pick it up 40 metres out from goal. But the pack jumps on it and it's going to be a ball up.
Forest Hill have done very well at just covering up those defensive areas, haven't they?
Ground level, Perry runs onto it, but he just loses the handle of it. He's got some help with his teammate in Gould. Hand pass over the top to McCarthy from 40 metres out. Open shot, misses it to the right. East Burwood second behind. They trail by 10. 13.5 minutes gone first term.
Really, senior footballers shouldn't miss those. Plenty of room, no real, a bit of inferred pressure, and that was all. Should have been able to nail that.
So Sam Creek in the fancy red boots, he hugs the boundary line very close. I think it might have carried here. Umpire comes in and says that it was touched just inside the paint, and we'll have a boundary throw-in on the arc of 45. Dale getting a timely fist on that one, or a fingernail, we'll call it. Pye to bring the ball back in. Gross will go up against Stafford in the ruck. There's been a whistle, bit of holding off the ball. I think this might go the way of Forest Hill. It does. Just trying to see who's going to be the recipient here. Short passes on Pincott. On the right boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position. It was a risky one, but a strong mark's being taken there by Ian Taylor.
I love what Willoughby's been doing to Galeno, trying to run him up the ground the whole time and then reverse him back so he's never in position.
Maguire goes forward looking for Cardamone. Got a little toe poke on it, running after it. Fent happy to see the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
What do you think of that diagonal kick into the middle to Maguire? Dangerous stuff by Forest Hill.
Without a doubt. So also interesting, the Middleton's gone forward. So they're going to try and hopefully mismatch them with a bit of height.
Yep.
40 metres out from the Forest Hill goal line, leading this game by 10 points. Ball hits the deck. On top of it there is Michael Cardamone. Happy just to cause the stoppage, and we'll have another ball up.
Looks like the East Burwood midfielders are actually ball hunting around the stoppages, where you get the Forest Hill players sitting on the outside. They've got the release from the stoppages when they do that, whereas the East Burwood players, because there's so many numbers there, they seem to give away a free kick, or they get in each other's way, which causes congestion around stoppages for East Burwood.
We'll see a lot of congestion today around the stoppages. It is a very small ground out here at Walker Park. Umpire throws it up now. Going after it there was Coates. He hit the deck. And let's do it all again.
But in those situations, BWS, that's where you need to have outriders that don't all go hunting in on the stoppage, so that when you do get clear hands on around the ball and around a stoppage, you do have the outlet to get the ball away from that stoppage.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. It came out. Stafford did a little backhander over the back. Umpire said, nah, take 8. Let's have a ball up.
Could always have finals at Nutter Wadding. That would be it. There'd be a few stoppages there, wouldn't there?
Absolutely.
The postage stamp.
Gross went after it, clearing kick that time there by Brown for East Burwood up towards the wing position, and then he got a lot of purchase on it, so it's bounced all the way up to half forward. He was looking for Middleton. He was led in the race. That was good play that time there by Powell. Got the handball over. That's okay by Creek. Short passes on, but he got nudged just as he kicked it, so out of bounds on the full it goes. The Rams, they waste no time. Still 2 kicks from home. The ball goes inside foul 50, looking for Anjemi. In there was Middleton, who tried to claim the mark. The umpire said it was touch play on, knocked away. Now Forest Hill with the clearing kick out towards the wing position. They do have the numbers. Can they raffle it here? They couldn't quite trap it. Eventually they do though. Well done there by Taylor. Snaps it in towards the middle of the ground. It was risky, but if it works out, it'll be okay. Here's McCarthy though for the Rams. Got it back. Handball back to Stafford. Snapped around the body. Bouncing football. There was nobody there. The skills and the pressure's high, so the skills aren't quite there at the moment.
David, what about Johnston? Second effort. Own teammate got in the way, but he went again.
He went again, and look, he did have to cut it inside because he looked down the ground and there was 2 East Burwood players waiting for it, so it seemed a risky chance, but he had to take it.
Gross was in good position for Forest Hill, but East Burwood muscle their way forward. They're just pushing and shoving the ball around the contest. The umpire sees a holding decision off the ball, and it'll go the way of the Rams. So big opportunity for an inside 50. Will's on a deliberate lead now, skirts across the arc. He gets hands to it, but the ball has to come back towards Brown. Now they finally compose themselves through Gould, who spears a pass into the leading option. And Stephen Perry it is, and it's Anthony Perry. So we just try to get our right Perrys as we look at them. There's Stephen and Anthony, but Anthony, he didn't have to move a muscle with that pass by Gould.
In that structure then, Wills came out and deliberately stopped for the ball. He should have continued on, taken his player out, and then Middleton would have been the target.
So Perry 40 metres out from a slide angle, misses to the right. It's another minus score for East Burwood. They are only 3 points. Forest Hill at 2 straight 12 as we approach time on 18 and a half minutes gone. So Creek will pick it up. He's had some missed kicks today. He's kicked a couple out in the full, but from the kick out, he'll look for the options. And he'll go long. This time broadcast grandstand side he goes, and it all sort of opens up for an easy mark with Powell found himself taking an uncontested mark at halfback. It gets the right hand pass over to his teammate, who now a short pass finds it to Maguire at halfback. So a very deliberate approach for Forest Hill to get out of defence. Now a long ball, one-on-one contest. Good position with Coates, gets out the back. It's in the hands of Johnson from 40. This time he makes no mistake on the run. And Forest Hill on the charge with the first 3 goals of the day. Forest Hill 3 straight 18, leading by 15. East Burwood only on 3 points.
He's shown a real willingness to run through the lines today, Tim Johnson, and that's broken the game open a few times from stoppages, and that time running the ball inside forward 45 and kicking the goal. I mean, he's been great there. Just that explosiveness, just that willingness to run and break a line, Brent.
He ran 45 metres there before he actually got to the contest. It was his heart. You could tell he was going to get it because
hard running.
The ball was going to go over the top, and he'd left his opponent for dead.
If you're out at East Burwood today between Heathmont and the Basin elimination final in Division 3, keep us up to date at Footy EFL via Twitter. We want to let all the fans know barging his way through there was Mowat. He couldn't quite get boot to ball. A release from him and ball hits the deck, and Jason Kennedy will hand it back to the umpire. Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
It's a nightmare down here today, boys. I just picked up that Mark Parrott has changed jumpers as well. He wasn't listed in 51, but he's wearing number 35.
Thank you very much to Besto. We did do our due diligence before the game, so we've been sent up the beaten path, but nonetheless, we'll get there eventually. Gross hits the deck. The big man hands it back to the umpire. Throws it up now. Gross got that knockdown that time. That was good play over Stafford. Goes after it again. Worked it out. Pincott somehow got boot to ball. Just trickled it up towards the half-forward line where Fent was the first player to meet it for the Rams. He was out-muscled that time by Newman. Fent goes after it again. Got the handball away. Now the Rams have a chance. This is good play up towards the half-forward line. They're hugging the boundary line both sides, and especially on that far side. Adrian Galeno was out in front, but boundary beats all players.
I need to look at the tape again, but I think apart from the kick to Galeno, I don't think East Burwood have had a possession where they've actually hit the next target. They've gone long to space every time, but they've not been able to string targets together in a row.
Middleton got the knockdown over the top there. It comes out towards Davis. He fell down at the crucial stage, almost met heavily by Creek. The umpire was right there. He said it was okay. And he'll come in and ball it up. We're about 40 metres out from goal. East Burwood searching for their first major of the afternoon. There's 3 scoring shots apiece, but it's a 15-point lead to Forest Hill early in the stages of the first semi-final in Division 4. Little handball out wide. It's really close to the boundary line here. East Burwood trying their best just to keep it in. Creek goes after it again. He's pushed over and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Defensively, they've done extremely well. Extremely well, Forest Hill. They've just bottled it up, and then when they get it out, they either go long to space or they've been able to hit their targets. So they've done really well this quarter.
Well, nicely done there by Stafford. Knocked it over the top. Geez, there's a lot of footballers chasing the pill in this first term. Forest Hill have the ascendancy, though. They're making it count as they go forward, which is what it's all about. From the stoppage, Pincott got a handle on it, got the knockout Brown, who's had a couple of touches. He got dispossessed, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in. I'll hand over to Gav Casey. Let's create some spark here, Case.
Well, I think there's some wind just starting to prop up a little bit, and I don't know if it suits anyone in particular. It's just making it hard to handle. On the outer side, East Burwood, quick kick inside, 50, bounce of the ball, leads a few. Galeno is gleefully around there. It might bounce back to him as the pack just can't get a handle on it. Eventually, Forest Hill deep in the pocket through Creek, a dribbler, but turnover ball. Can Perry get onto it? He spins out of one tackle into another, and then it's holding the ball as he never got a hand pass out. So Anthony Perry has to hand it over to Forest Hill.
Fantastic defensive structures from Forest Hill. They're defending space really well, and because East Burwood aren't looking to spot up a target, but rather kicking to space, they're kicking to congestion where Forest Hill are able to flood numbers back.
So the kick by Forest Hill, have they got a player down the line? Johnston found himself on the ball on the wing as it got past the pack, but the tackle comes in late. East Burwood not aware, and it's holding the ball against Kennedy. He had no forward options and allows Forest Hill to tackle and turn over. Kick to Cardamone, who takes a chest mark 45 metres out. He didn't have much space in between himself and his defender, but he took the mark. He's quick to get on the right foot, puts it long to Pim. Pim spinning around in the contest. He just gets his hand on it. Was he dragged off? It says the Forest Hill supporters. No, says the umpire. Play goes on, and East Burwood are pushed and harassed out of bounds, and it'll be a ball in from 45 metres around from the Zebras' goal.
Understand the need, I suppose, to kick to your target, but that time then they did not need to kick into that pocket to pin.
Rucks go at
Totally
it again.
agree with that.
Ground level. Murphy had a short handle on the ball, but he lets it slip. Forest Hill go in, but it comes out to East Burwood, and a quick kick down the line. Underneath it was Davis. He drops the mark. Heap of pressure with Forest Hill picking up the ball. Creek tackled as soon as he got it, so he got the latitude to play on. Pincott applies a tackle at half forward for the Zebras, and he draws a ball up.
I don't want to dwell on the past too much, Dave, but with Cardamone only 55 out and Pim leading to the pocket, why didn't he have a shot?
Correct.
Rucks go at it at full forward. Middleton gets onto it again. He goes backwards into the defensive 45. He goes, and East Burwood just can't get out of the congestion. And when they do, they're just letting the ball slip in their hands.
They cannot string possessions together at the moment. That's been the difference.
Flying effort from Stoneham to come over the top of Middleton, and again the ball just gets underneath the pack that's formed, and it'll be a ball up 45 metres from goal.
Stoppage Central out here at Walker Park in the first term of the first semi-final in Division 4. Middleton got the knockdown. Here's a chance in the arms now there of Palagaro up towards the half-forward line, bouncing football, and it goes wide.
I mean, why would you do that? He's got a mark. He's got a situation where he's got a tall forward down there. He played on and kicked it to absolutely no one and kicked it poorly. So now what they've done is they've pushed it wide to where the wind's blowing.
The defensive side of the ground.
Defensive side of the ground allows Forest Hill to push players back to block up the forward half, and there'll be just more stoppages.
Middleton will go up against Stoneham, who found himself in the front spot. As the siren sounds to announce quarter time out here at Walker Park, and a pretty interesting first term as well. It was high intensity, it was high pressure, there was lots of stoppages, not too clear disposal. So a very interesting start. Forest Hill, they made the most of it, didn't they, going forward? They kicked 3 straight 18. Their goal kickers Michael Cardamone, Tim Johnston, and of course Steve Pym. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is Forest Hill leading East Burwood by 15 points. 18 plays 3. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We're streaming live around the globe this afternoon on efl.org.au as Division 4 finals at its best. Get down here to Walker Park. There's 3 quarters to play. It's sun-drenched oval, perfect conditions. Hope you're enjoying it, and we'll be back.